My grandma died not long ago. Whether it was a good or sad occasion, I was there for her. The rest of my family was taken aback when Grandma opted to leave everything to me in her will, and nothing to them. But I don't know why. Greetings, everybody. As a 27-year-old named Jessie, I never imagined I'd have to tell you this story. A tragic loss struck my family not long ago, and it has hurt us hard. Suddenly, my Grandma Laura, went away. She brought us all closer together by her wisdom, kindness, and love. She was the beating heart of our family. We feel like we've lost something irreplaceable when we lose her. We are still trying to come to terms with her death as a family. Her illness had been known to us for some time, but no one had anticipated her passing so rapidly. Despite the physician's predictions that she would live for another 7 months, she passed away at the weekend's conclusion. To us, Grandma Laura was much more than that. Someone we could confide in, get wisdom from, and depend on. She was. Her contagious laughter, seemingly unlimited supply of stories, and sincere interest in each and every one of us made every family meeting feel like a celebration. Her love knew no bounds, and she was there for anybody who needed her, whether it was advice, encouragement, or reassurance. Our family is bereft of direction now that she is gone. The weight of her absence hurts. I briefly lose track of the fact that she's not here every morning when I open my eyes. I forget that she's actually gone just as quickly as it feels normal. No more helping her prepare cookies or smelling her scent. I long for the days of sitting on her lap again, even though it has been more than 10 years since we last did so. It has been odd and lonely in the days following her death. She used to fill the house with her presence, but now it seems empty. Nobody has the courage to take a seat in her beloved chair, therefore it remains empty. She kept us all together for the last 51 years while she occupied that house and sat in that chair. Seated in her chair, I feel awkward now. It seems like the misery will never end. Everyone has been crying so much. My Grandpa Laura died a few years ago, and my dad did as well. For days now, my mom has been sobbing. Across the board, there is a profound sense of loss and an insurmountable void in our hearts. I can tell they're all feeling sorry for her, even if they aren't expressing it directly, since they keep staring at her chair and looking downcast. Our family's delicate equilibrium is beginning to crumble now that Grandma Laura is no longer here. With her ability to put everyone at ease and sound guidance, she was the rock upon whom we could always rely. Things are becoming more tense without her. Her departure has revealed previously unseen fissures in our relationships, which we had failed to appreciate for how much she had held us together. The most basic matters, such as arranging her funeral, sorting through her belongings, and settling her estate, are already escalating into arguments. It's heartbreaking to witness once close family members suddenly experiencing this tension, and everyone's emotions are running high. My uncle believes Grandma Laura deserves a large, elaborate burial, so he is asking everyone to chip in for it. A few members of her family feel the same way and think she deserves a proper send-off. However, my sister, who is a first-year college student with a tight budget, cannot afford to chip in. She and a few of our cousins are among those who are scraping by on ramen noodles and other inexpensive foods. Disputes are intensifying. Grandma Laura would not approve of such a frivolous use of funds, my sister said in response to my uncle's suggestion of a lavish burial. Various branches of the family took opposing positions, leading to a major argument. I feel trapped, torn between dealing with Grandma's death and all the ranting. When people argue, Grandma would say certain things to calm them down. I tried to utilize some of those things, but they don't have the same effect when they aren't said by her. Honestly, I'm feeling very furious, and I lack her soothing vibe. Last night, my uncles almost started fighting over the funeral and Grandma's house, the house they grew up in, where Grandma raised them. She's barely gone, and they're already acting like kids. It feels so disrespectful to her memory, and I wanted to scream at them for acting this way, but I know it wouldn't make any difference. The days just keep going, and it feels harder with each one. I can see how the tension is affecting our family. Siblings who were once so close now avoid each other, and nobody is really talking. People barely look each other in the eyes anymore. The strong bonds Grandma Laura built between us seem to be coming apart right before my eyes, and it breaks my heart. The reading of her will is making everyone even more tense. Grandma Laura was said to have saved up a lot of money over the years. Though no one knows exactly how much, she lived a simple life, only really spending on birthday and Christmas gifts. But we know she had money. It's become almost like a family legend. My uncle swears he saw her bank book when he was 7 and saw $1 billion. No one believes him, but we know there were a lot of zeros. Some family members are open about hoping to get an inheritance, while others try to keep it quiet. It's sad to see how the thought of money is causing a rift between us, filling the room with unease and distrust. People are eyeing each other and asking questions about the money, each wanting to know what they'll get. It makes me sick. Even my sister has joined in. Grandma Laura hasn't even been gone a week, and already the family she loved and raised has turned this into a hunt for money. I feel like crying as we wait for the will to be read. I'm torn. I'm worried about the fights and disagreements that might come over her estate. I fear her death might change our family forever, breaking the close bond we once had. But I'm also really sad because her passing has made me think about life and how short it really is. It's a reminder that nothing in life lasts forever and that family is about love, memories, and connection, not money. Everything just feels so hard right now. I'm suddenly scared of losing everyone I love, scared that our family will never be the same. I'm scared that when the will is read, someone will be upset with what they get. And with such a big family, jealousy is bound to happen. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm sharing all this here. I don't know. I guess I'm hoping someone will give advice or have the perfect way to make my family stop fighting. Just want us all to honor Grandma Laura's memory and act the way she'd want us to. But that feels more and more impossible as each day goes by. Update 1. 2 of my uncles actually got into a drunken fight over the funeral plans. Can you believe it? Instead of mourning Grandma Laura, they were arguing about money. Both of them were drinking at a local bar. My broke Uncle James was venting to his friend about my other Uncle Larry. Larry's the one who wants everyone to chip in for a big, expensive funeral. James was bad-mouthing Larry, and Larry overheard him. They started yelling at each other, and things quickly got out of hand. The police ended up getting called, and both uncles were arrested for disorderly conduct. It was such an embarrassing scene, and I couldn't believe it was happening. Half of the family thinks Larry is out of touch for expecting everyone to pay for a fancy funeral. Larry's wife comes from a wealthy family, so even though our family isn't rich, he's used to a more luxurious life now. He seems to forget that not everyone has the money to spare. Meanwhile, James is a recovering addict who's been sleeping on a friend's couch for 5 months while he looks for a job. Of course, he can't afford an expensive funeral. Honestly, I'm not taking sides. I just want them both to stop fighting and remember that their mom just died. Seeing them like this is incredibly disappointing. I used to look up to them, and now they're facing legal trouble because of their actions. It's a harsh reminder that grief and stress can bring out the worst in people, even in those we thought we knew well. Larry's wife bailed him out of jail the next morning, but James had to stay there for 15 hours before someone helped him out. Now the two aren't even speaking to each other. The aftermath has been a mess, with family members taking sides and making things worse. It's clear that Grandma Laura's passing has deeply changed our family, and I'm scared the damage can't be fixed. It's heartbreaking. It breaks my heart to see the strong bond we once had fall apart right in front of me. I'm struggling to accept that things might never be the same. Holding on to grudges and fighting over money is the last thing Grandma Laura would have wanted. This is a painful reminder of how short life is and how precious family should be. I wish I could say things are getting better, but they aren't. The hurt caused by everything that's happened since Grandma Laura passed is still fresh, and it's hard to see a way forward. This is a harsh reminder that life can get messy and family drama can be really tough. I don't know how the two sides of my family are supposed to come together in a few days for the reading of Grandma Laura's will. If she didn't have much, I doubt anyone will be calm or understanding. They're already fighting over a few thousand. How will they act if there are millions, like the family rumors say? I'm just hoping the lawyer has a panic button in her office because things are about to get very, very intense. Hey, I'm back with an update, and it's not a happy one. I'd hoped the family would come together peacefully when the will was read, but that didn't happen. We were all waiting for the reading of Grandma Laura's will, and what happened next left me totally shocked. I could hardly believe it when the lawyer announced it. Grandma Laura didn't leave any money to any of my aunts, uncles, cousins, or even my sister. She left everything to me, millions of dollars, all to me. It felt like the room was spinning, and my heart was pounding so hard I could barely hear. The family was furious. I didn't even need to look around to feel their anger. When I did, I saw faces full of disbelief, anger, and betrayal. My uncles, aunts, and cousins were exchanging looks, muttering to each other, and it was clear they were anything but happy. Probably the understatement of the century. As the reality of the situation hit me, I felt a rush of emotions, overwhelmed, confused, and torn. I never asked for this. I never thought I'd be the only one to inherit Grandma Laura's estate. It felt like a huge weight dropped on me, and I didn't know how to handle it. I'm 27, just an entry-level computer programmer making $70,000 a year. My life was simple and calm, and now suddenly I'm a millionaire, and my family hates me for it. They didn't have to say anything. I could see it in their faces. Even my mom looked disappointed. I felt a pang of guilt. I knew my family expected to get something from Grandma Laura, and now it's all in my hands. I never wanted to come between my family and what they thought was their share, and I didn't understand why Grandma Laura made this choice. Sure, I spent a lot of time with her, maybe a little more than others, but everyone knew I was her favorite grandchild. Still, that shouldn't outweigh her love for her own kids. I haven't even been a perfect granddaughter. I just visited her a few times each week. As the shock wore off, the tension in the room grew worse. My family's anger reached a boiling point, and they started accusing me of tricking Grandma Laura into changing her will. Their words cut deep. I tried to explain that I had no idea what was in the will and that Grandma Laura's decision was her own, but they wouldn't listen. The room felt toxic, and I felt attacked from all sides. My own family, people I had loved my whole life, were now blaming me, doubting my honesty, and tearing apart my relationship with Grandma Laura. It was a nightmare, and I felt completely helpless. Everyone was shouting at me, and I could see the poor lawyer looked like she wanted to escape. Even my sister yelled, saying I took advantage of Grandma Laura's illness to make her leave me everything. Of course, I didn't do that, but nothing I said could make them believe me. Uncle Larry was red with anger, even though he's the one who needs it the least. His family is wealthy. I tried to hold back my tears, but they came anyway. The fact that my own family, people I grew up with, even my mom, were so quick to think the worst of me hurt more than I can explain. In that moment, I felt completely alone and abandoned. I don't think I'd ever felt this terrible before, not even when I heard about Grandma Laura's death. I'm overwhelmed by this inheritance that I never asked for, and by the way my family turned against me afterward. Any happiness about the inheritance has been crushed by the pain of losing my family's love and support. As the accusations and yelling went on, I just couldn't take it anymore. The pain was too much. So I ran to my car, barely able to see through my tears, and locked myself inside. I felt trapped, broken, and like I couldn't breathe. Sitting here in my car, I'm crying harder than I ever have. I'm not only mourning Grandma's loss, but also the broken relationship with my family. The thought of being at odds with them is unbearable, and I don't know how to make sense of it. This inheritance, which should have been a blessing, feels like a curse. It's brought out the worst in my family, and the fallout is worse than I ever imagined. I'm still trying to process everything, seeking legal advice to figure out the inheritance, but the emotional weight of this is much harder than anything else. This whole experience has been a painful lesson on how money and inheritance can bring out the darkest sides of people, even within a family. As I sit here and write this, I'm filled with sadness and heartbreak. I never wanted to be on bad terms with my family, and knowing our relationship might never be the same just crushes me. I'm trying to take time to grieve, to heal, and to find a way to honor Grandma's memory despite all the chaos. Right now, I'm in my car, sitting in a Taco Bell parking lot, writing this to you. I needed to get far away from the lawyer's office, but I knew I couldn't go home. So here I am, eating my feelings. The poor kid at the drive-thru looked like he might call the cops on the crying lady ordering a double cheeseburger. I know my family's probably at my apartment banging on the door, which is why I didn't go back. I feel terrible for my roommate, who's probably dealing with all of it without any idea why there are 40 people yelling at her. She's going to think I've joined the mafia or something. I really don't know what to do now. Everything feels so wrong. Normally, I'd ask Grandma Laura for advice in a situation like this, but she's gone, and she's the one who put me in this position. I just don't know what to do. Update 3. Hey everyone, it's been a few weeks since my last post, and I know many people have been wondering what's happened. I'm sorry for disappearing, but I really lost it for a while. I hope you understand. I wish I could say things have gotten better, but unfortunately it's been a wild ride. After the reading of Grandma Laura's will, my family's reaction was worse than I could have expected. They accused me of tricking Grandma and stealing their inheritance, and things only got worse from there. After driving around, I ended up going a few hours out of town, just trying to escape everything. I've been hiding out in motels, avoiding my family's anger and all the accusations. I haven't been doing much, just avoiding my phone because the texts and calls haven't stopped. Mostly, I've been watching bad daytime TV to pass the time and eating way too much junk food. I had to use my savings just to pay for the motel, which nearly made me cry, but then I remembered I'm rich now, and I laughed like a maniac. The guy at the check-in desk must have thought I was crazy. Just when I thought things were calming down and maybe I could go back home to talk things out, the cops showed up at my motel. Yes, the police. My family actually reported me for theft, saying I'd taken their money and run. I couldn't believe it. The police handcuffed me and told me about the accusations. My family claimed I stole their inheritance and ran off, which isn't true at all. I hadn't taken a penny. It's all still in Grandma's trust as far as I know. Tried to explain that Grandma Laura left me the estate in her will, but the cops were skeptical. My family had convinced them I was some kind of mastermind thief. It was a nightmare come true, and I felt so helpless. Thankfully, I managed to convince them to let me call my lawyer who handled Grandma's will. It felt like forever, but she eventually arrived and helped me out. I was just sitting in the back of a police car, handcuffed. It took a lot of begging to get the officers to let me call my lawyer. Usually, when you ask the cops if you can call a lawyer, they don't love the idea. But when my lawyer arrived, she explained to them that the estate was legally mine, left to me by Grandma herself. It wasn't stolen. After a long talk, the police finally let me go but warned me to stay away from my family and avoid any contact until things are legally settled. They seemed annoyed, Not at me, but probably at my family for wasting police time and making them look foolish. It was heartbreaking to realize my own family would go so far to ruin my name and accuse me of something I didn't do. This whole thing has left me completely drained. I never thought inheriting money could bring so much pain and trouble. That was just yesterday, and I'm still at the motel trying to deal with the betrayal and false accusations. The legal fight over Grandma's estate is ongoing, and it's taking a huge toll on me. Once happy memories of family gatherings now feel distant and spoiled. I'm dealing with a deep sense of loss, and on top of that, I'm furious. I'm so mad it feels like my blood's boiling. How dare they call the cops on me, their own family? Instead of stopping to wonder why Grandma left everything to me, they decided I must have tricked her. They didn't stop to think that maybe she noticed I was the one helping her to the bathroom when her nurse was off duty, or that I was the one who stayed on her couch for 5 days when she found out she was sick, just to be there for her when no one else would. In an earlier update, I downplayed how much time I spent with Grandma Laura to make my family look better, which I now realize was foolish. None of you would have judged me, and they're never going to read this. But it's true that they only visited Grandma Laura maybe once a week, if that. I was there almost every single day. I changed her diapers when her own kids kept making excuses. Of course she left her money to me. I was the one doing the work her family should have done. During these weeks at the motel, I've been thinking about my options, and I've almost made up my mind. I was going to split the money equally with everyone because I thought it was only fair. But now they're not getting a single dime. If Grandma Laura wanted me to have the money, then so be it. They can fight over the house and jewelry all they want. I don't care. I want to thank everyone here who supported me with your kind words and advice. Your encouragement has really helped me through this tough time. I'm just focusing on getting legal advice, staying strong, and standing up for myself. I talked to my lawyer, and she said the will is airtight. Grandma Laura made sure there were no loopholes, so nobody can challenge it. I love her so much, and I miss her every day. There's an emptiness without her, but I'm going to honor her wishes no matter what. Update 4. Final update. Hi everyone. Here's the update you've been waiting for. After the false accusations and betrayal from my family, the legal battle over Grandma Laura's estate continued. But I finally won. My uncles, who falsely accused me of theft and wasted police time, were actually arrested for filing a false report. It felt like a small but real victory. I knew the cops were angry about the false report, but I didn't expect this outcome. Still, I think it was justice. But it didn't end there. My family actually had the nerve to come to me for help. They wanted me to use my inheritance to bail my uncles out of jail. I was shocked at their audacity. After all the pain and trouble they caused me, they had the nerve to ask me for money. I almost laughed in their faces, though it wouldn't have been a friendly laugh, so I kept it to myself. I refused. I've had enough of their fake behavior, their greed, and their lack of trust. I've realized that my family's actions are beyond forgiveness. Their greed, manipulation, and betrayal are too much to overlook. There's no way I'm getting them a single cent of my inheritance, which was legally left to me in the will. They tried to make things right by apologizing and reaching out, but I was done. I'd lost all trust in them. I didn't even want to see my mom. She hadn't stood up for me when they tried to get me arrested, so I don't owe her anything now. I've made a big decision. I'm taking my inheritance, packing up my things, and moving to a new state far from this toxic family. I've already blocked their numbers and cut all ties. It wasn't an easy choice, but it was necessary for my well-being and peace of mind. I'm going to live my life for myself now, not for them. As I write this final update, I feel a mix of emotions, sadness, anger, but also hope. It's been a wild ride, and I've learned a lot about family, trust, and resilience. Please know how much I appreciate everyone's support during this difficult time. Your unwavering backing was invaluable. My advice to anyone going through something similar is to be strong, have legal representation, and surround oneself with supportive people. Though it may be difficult, severing links with loved ones is the best course of action when dealing with poisonous relationships. Love, respect, and happiness are yours to deserve. In my own life, I anticipate a future brimming with exciting prospects and memorable moments. My goal is to make the most of my bequest so that I can improve my life. The road ahead might be bumpy, but I'm prepared to brave it. It means a lot to have you along for the ride. I will be eternally grateful for the assistance I received here when I felt entirely alone. This is my last update. I am indebted to you all for saving me. Reading the many comments, it is evident that this type of drama occurs frequently with individuals sharing similar stories. Your assistance is greatly appreciated. I know someone whose family was torn apart because one person received nearly all of the inheritance. It appears like this occurs frequently. Thus, I want anyone who has dealt with inheritance issues or gone through a similar experience to share their tale in the comments. Hey there, I'm Revenge Online, and I tell stories all day long. Look at our stories on the channel to see what we're sharing today if you're interested in that type of stuff, or if you just want to pass the time. Wishing you a fantastic day ahead and seeing you in the next one.
Hi, I'm Susan, a 28-year-old graphic designer navigating life with a chronic back condition caused by a car accident 3 years ago. Things were manageable, thanks to my prescribed medication, until my mother-in-law decided to interfere. You're absolutely glowing today, Susan. The new client loved your designs, my best friend Jessica said during lunch. A nurse at the local hospital, Jessica and I have been inseparable since college. Thanks, Jess. I've been feeling great lately. The treatment Dr. Torres prescribed is working wonders. I hesitated, then added, speaking of good news, Thomas and I are expecting. Jessica's eyes widened. Oh my God, that's amazing. Does the dragon lady know yet? Jessica, I scolded, laughing. Jennifer isn't that bad. Well, most of the time. Deep down, I knew Jessica wasn't entirely wrong. Jennifer, my mother-in-law, was a wealthy widow who thrived on control. At Sunday dinner, her reaction was precisely what I feared. Darling, this is wonderful news. Jennifer clasped my hands in hers, her perfectly manicured nails digging in just slightly. You'll need to move in with me during the difficult months. Thomas, sweetheart, you're always so busy with work. I can take care of her properly. I noticed Diana, my sister-in-law, flinch at Jennifer's words. She and her husband Charles rarely spoke up. Diana caught my eye and quickly looked away. Actually, Mom, we're planning to handle things ourselves, I said, trying to sound firm. Nonsense. With your condition, you'll need experienced guidance. The way she emphasized condition made my skin crawl. At my next checkup, Dr. Torres emphasized the importance of my medication. Susan, your health comes first. We'll adjust the dosage for the baby, but stopping it completely isn't safe. Can you explain that to my mother-in-law? I asked, half joking. She insists medications are harmful during pregnancy. Let me be clear, Dr. Torres said, his tone serious. Ignoring this could have severe consequences. That evening, Thomas tried to mediate. Mom means well, honey. She just wants to help. Thomas, don't you see? Something feels off. How did you notice how Charles and Diana barely speak when she's around? They're just private people, he said with a shrug. Mom's been amazing since Dad died. Running charities, helping at church. I couldn't shake my unease, especially after Jennifer began setting up a nursery in her house without consulting me. Susan's so blessed to have me, she announced at her social gathering, as if I wasn't standing right there. The suffocation began the moment I moved into her home. Jennifer hovered constantly. No coffee, no stress, no autonomy. She even threw out all my food, replacing it with a better diet. One morning, I reached for my medication, only to find the drawer empty. Looking for something, Jennifer stood in the doorway, her smile tight. My medication. Where is it? I disposed of those harmful pills. Natural remedies are better for my grandchild. They're prescribed. I need them for my back pain. Back pain makes better mothers, she said dismissively, dragging me downstairs despite my protests. The pain was excruciating. At my next checkup, Dr. Torres frowned. Your blood pressure is dangerously high. Where's your medication? I can't find it, I admitted, my voice barely a whisper. Jessica visited after her shift, gasping when she saw me struggle to stand. What's that bruise on your arm? Jennifer helps me up the stairs. She's just very hands-on. This isn't help, Susan. This is abuse, and you should hear what she's been saying at church. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? She's telling everyone you're mentally unstable, that you're unfit to be a mother. Susan, Mrs. Henderson from the hospital board said Jennifer's been asking about postpartum depression facilities. The room spun. She's? What? Diana's voice interrupted from the doorway. I should have told you sooner. She hesitated, tears brimming. When I was pregnant, I lost the baby because of her. That night, I overheard Jennifer on the phone. I'm very worried about Susan's mental state. She refuses to eat properly, acts erratically. Thomas needs to consider alternative care arrangements after the baby is born. I tried calling Thomas, but Jennifer had confiscated my phone. Your phone activities agitate you, dear, she'd say, locking it away. The next morning, I could barely walk. Jennifer's eyes sparkled with satisfaction, feeling under the weather. Perhaps if you followed my guidance better. Staring at my reflection, bruised, pale, and shaking, I realized this wasn't just about control. Jennifer was dangerous, and I was trapped with no medication, no contact with the outside world, and growing fear for my baby's safety. That's when I noticed the empty prescription bottles in her bathroom trash. My hands trembled as I carefully picked up the destroyed pill bottles. They were mine. Looking for something, Charles's voice startled me. He stood in the doorway, his face grim. I should have warned you sooner, he said. She did the same thing to Diana. What happened to Diana? I whispered, dreading his answer. She was high risk, needed medication to manage her pregnancy. Mom insisted on natural motherhood, building strength through pain. Diana lost the baby at 6 months. The doctor said it was from untreated complications. My stomach churned. Why didn't you stop her? She controls everything. Our inheritances, the family business. But I can't stand by and watch this happen again. Charles hesitated before leaning closer. Check behind the loose panel in her medicine cabinet. Following his lead, I pried open the hidden compartment and found dozens of prescription bottles. Some were mine. Others had different names. She takes them herself, Charles whispered. Has for years. It started after she put Grandma in that awful nursing home. There was an investigation back then, but she buried it. From that moment, Jessica and I documented everything. We photographed the bruises, recorded conversations, and saved texts where Jennifer told Thomas I was too unstable to talk. Jessica uncovered even more. Remember Mrs. Peterson? She asked one day. Her daughter works at the bank. Jennifer's been forging Thomas's signatures and transferring company funds into her accounts. When Thomas finally came home for a weekend, I confronted him. I was exhausted, barely able to stand, but I laid out everything. The empty bottles, the bruises, the financial records. She stole my medication, Thomas. She's been taking it herself. That's ridiculous, Jennifer snapped, appearing in the doorway. She's having mental episodes. Ask anyone at church. Like how you asked about postpartum facilities? I shot back. Like how you spread rumors about me being unfit to be a mother. I was protecting my grandchild, she hissed. Like you protected Diana's baby? The color drained from Jennifer's face. What is she talking about, Ma? Thomas demanded. Before Jennifer could respond, a wave of pain hit me. It was so intense I collapsed, the last thing I heard being Jessica shouting for someone to call 911. When I woke up in the hospital, Dr. Torres was livid. Severe medical neglect, malnutrition, untreated chronic pain, he said. Susan, I've had to report this. She's been stealing my medication, I whispered, barely able to speak. I know, blood tests confirmed it. Social services is involved now. Thomas sat by my bedside, his face pale. The investigators found records, he said quietly, complaints about Mom, Grandma's caregivers, the nursing home, even her old housekeeper. all buried with money and threats. There are even suspicious withdrawals after Dad's accident. Diana came in later, holding a thick folder. The police found these in her house. Records of forged prescriptions, financial fraud, even a diary outlining how she planned to get custody of your baby. Dr. Torres returned with another update. Jennifer is being questioned by police. They found prescriptions from 12 different doctors in her home. But right now, our focus is getting you and the baby healthy. Leaving Jennifer's house felt like stepping into a new world. Thomas made sure we moved far away, installing security cameras and changing all the locks. One morning, Jessica showed me her phone over coffee in our new kitchen. Did you see the church newsletter? Jennifer's been removed from all committees after Charles and Diana testified. The congregation is in shock. The dominoes were falling fast. Jennifer's perfect facade shattered completely when Mrs. Henderson caught her stealing prescriptions from the senior center's medicine cabinet. The security footage was damning. Jennifer was caught on camera methodically rifling through the senior center's medical storage room during what was supposed to be a charity visit. The nerve of that woman, Mrs. Henderson spat during the emergency board meeting. Her voice shook with rage. All these years preaching about charity while stealing from elderly residents. She even took Mrs. Johnson's heart medication last month. Jennifer's downfall didn't stop there. Former housekeepers began coming forward, their voices no longer silenced by her threats. Maria, who worked for Jennifer for over a decade, filed the first lawsuit, inspiring others to share their horror stories. She locked me in the basement when I threatened to report her for stealing Mr. Mitchell's pain medication before he died. Maria testified, her hands trembling as she described the 12-hour ordeal. She said no one would believe a housekeeper over her. Jennifer's empire of lies and manipulation crumbled under the weight of her victims' voices. The birth of my daughter, Olivia Rose Mitchell, was a moment of pure joy, untainted by Jennifer's presence. She was healthy, perfect, and most importantly, free from her grandmother's control. The delivery room was filled with love and support, everything my pregnancy should have been from the start. Thomas held Olivia one evening as we sat in our new peaceful home. Mrs. Wallace from the country club called, he said. The IRS is investigating Mom's charity foundation. She's been writing off personal expenses as donations. They've uncovered millions in tax fraud. Not long after, our home security system pinged during Olivia's nap. Checking the camera, I saw Jennifer sobbing at our door. Her designer makeup ran down her face and her once perfect appearance was disheveled. Please, I'm sorry, she begged, her voice cracking. I need help. Everyone's abandoned me, the club, the church. I'm facing jail time. I'm your mother, Thomas. You can't let them do this to me. Thomas's voice was steady as he answered through the intercom. No, you're not. Mothers don't torture their children or try to kill their grandchildren. Goodbye, Jennifer. A week later, we watched her luxury car get repossessed. Her once loyal social circle vanished. The woman who had commanded attention at every social gathering now couldn't even get a table at the local diner. 10 years. Jessica read from the news article one morning. She got 10 years for prescription fraud, elder abuse, and tax evasion. Most of her assets are going to victim compensation. The judge's harsh sentence reflected the severity of her crimes, especially after hearing of the senior center thefts. Diana and Charles used their share of the compensation to open a support center for survivors of family abuse, turning their pain into purpose. Thomas rebuilt the family business with integrity, implementing strict financial controls and transparent practices. Every so often, Jennifer sent us letters from prison. They were filled with tear-stained promises of change and requests to meet Olivia. I never opened them. Some toxins don't deserve a second chance to poison you, I said as I tore up the latest letter. Olivia deserves better than her manipulation. Olivia is in kindergarten now, bright, happy, and surrounded by real love. My back still aches occasionally, a painful reminder of those dark months, but I have proper medication, a supportive family, and peace. Sometimes people ask if I feel guilty about Jennifer dying alone in prison after her stroke last month. I don't. Mommy, tell me a story. Olivia calls from her bedroom, her voice full of joy. I smile as I head upstairs. My story isn't about forgiveness or reconciliation. It's about survival, justice, and protecting your children from toxic people, even when they share your blood.